What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Williams World, and we are back again with an episode 16 and my thoughts on communication in regards to relationships. Before I begin, I'd like to give a thank you to everyone who interacts and supports this podcast. You are greatly appreciated, and I'm glad to have you along this journey with me as I give my thoughts on many topics. Now let's talk communication. Besides love and trust, you have to have some sort of communication to have a relationship thrive. This communication can't just come from one person. It has to come from the man or the woman. The man and the woman. A lot of times, spouses cheat. Sometimes they don't cheat. They start to talk to other people, and other people know their business. And a lot of times, other spouses tend to get upset. And then when you also ask them why they do it, they always say, "Because you never listened to me. I had no one to talk to. I had no one to say it to." That alone can be detrimental to a relationship, because then the person feels like, why you couldn't come to me then? Well, I couldn't talk to you. And this is where the communication part comes in at in a relationship, and why it is very, very, very needed. So a lot of times as men, we tend to think women want to argue all the time. That's our first nature, because a lot of times women have a lot to either talk about or complain about. Let's be honest. So there's some kind of, they feel like they're nagging, they want this, they want that. Women have so many needs to everything, to the point where every little thing can seem like it's an argument about to come, some problems about to start. And sometimes it can be true, because sometimes the timing is always off. When a lot of times a woman wants to communicate. The reason I'm saying this, because sometimes you can be in a good mood about something going on. Maybe there's a trend of days going by and everything seems to be on the up and up between you and someone else. And she would come out of nowhere and say, can we talk? We need to talk about something. Now, the topic she wants to talk about could have been something that has happened either a year ago, months ago, weeks ago, maybe days ago. And she never brought it to your attention then. And a lot of times, ladies, I'm all for communicating, for men, women. Everybody needs to communicate in order for a relationship to grow. But a lot of times when something is on your mind, you guys don't want to say it. And as women, y'all expect us as men to figure out what's going on with you, instead of most of the time being upfront. I'm not gonna say all women, but some women do. A lot of times you guys don't want to really be upfront about what's bothering you. So that when you tell a guy, no, I'm fine, I'm okay, and something is actually wrong with you, we'll take it as, okay, you said you were fine, I'm gonna leave it at that. There's no point of me prying open what seems to be closed. And then ladies get upset when a man walks away after that, to the point where now you spend the whole day angry while he's at his normal state of mind, not worried about nothing's bothering him, because you told him nothing was wrong. And then now there's a big argument that escalates behind it, because now you're upset because he didn't keep nagging you about what's wrong with you. Now there's a fight going on, there's an argument. Now he's trying to defend the fact that you said one thing, you're trying to indicate that you meant another, but that's not what you said. And this goes back to when people need to say what they mean what they say. They tell you to say what's on your mind, you say what's on your mind, because down the line, what was on your mind before is going to seem irrelevant, because you should have brought it up then. This way you could have solved it and also moved on. A lot of times, men, we have to get our communication up too, because growing up, we're taught not to express yourself. Men don't cry. Men don't do this. Men don't do that. And we bottle all that up and we try to fight it by ourselves without the help of anyone. And a lot of times this can be shown through our silence. So ladies, if your man is real silent about a lot of things, a lot of times his mind is on something that he probably bothering him. Something he probably wants to get out. Probably feeling down about something, position in life. It could be anything. Something is bothering him. A lot of times as a man, he's taught not to really open up and tell you. So if you have a man and you have those lines of communication open, and he's willing to talk to you about his problem because he trusts you that much, that he doesn't think that you will look at him different, because in this society nowadays, a man still can't be emotional enough about his own feelings. He's only meant to care about what the woman wants. That's what society's trying to build on now, trying to make the man that way. And the difference is, see, ladies, if y'all feeling some type of way about something, y'all can go to your best friends, your sisters, whatever it is, anybody that's close to y'all, that close, and no one's gonna look bad at eye twice about y'all expressing yourselves about how y'all feeling, about a problem you have that can help you solve the problem, whatever it is. Men, a lot of times, we can't really go to our homeboys as much as you ladies can go to your homegirls and start expressing ourselves and boo-hoo and all this other stuff because of a topic we feel strongly about that we really couldn't discuss with y'all. And a lot of times, we have to keep that shit in then also. So now we can be mentally breaking down because we have to keep holding things in. So if you have those communication lines open, keep them open without judgment, without thoughts in the back of your head saying, okay, he's this, he's that, since he's all Philly in his feelings now. Because a lot of times he might need you. He may just want you to listen to him. He's not asking you for a response. Just like ladies, when y'all talk sometimes, y'all not really wanting a response. Y'all just want somebody to listen. And if that's the case, everybody has to tell the other person, listen, I just want you to listen. You don't have to respond. I just want you to listen because I just need to get it out. And sometimes a listening ear can be very helpful in the communication part. Because a lot of times we're not listening. Like if let's just say someone's having a problem with something. A lot of times we tend to not listen to understand what they're trying to say or where they're coming from. A lot of times we're listening to respond back. Like men are logical thinkers. Men will go through every stretch of every logic before they end up going to the emotional part of thinking. Women would tend to go through every bit of emotional thinking before they stop to think about the logic. And a lot of times that can cause a man to shut down because sometimes the female can be more so emotional to a point where she's not trying to hear what he's trying to say. He could possibly be trying to show you something correctly, and the fact that you're not trying to hear him could cause him to shut down and wonder why men sometimes say, you got it, okay. They tend to nod and keep going because it's like whatever he says, you're not trying to hear it either. And when a man ends up getting to that emotional state after being logic, and you're ready to be logic about something, and you're trying to tell him something, he's not trying to hear you either now. Because now he's past the logic stage. Now he's into his emotional thinking, and it still can cause a problem in the communication factor. So we all have to learn to tell ourselves we have to listen to understand something and make sure that we fully understand something, and sometimes ask questions. Instead of responding, ask questions about what they're saying so that you can get a better understanding before you decide to think and respond correctly to a point where the communication that y'all have and the problem that y'all are trying to solve, you both can work towards solving that problem without the relationship going downhill because of the loss factor of communication. Like I said, no one wants to see someone else that they're dealing with have to go outside of the relationship just to talk to someone. You don't even have to be cheating or anything of that nature. Nobody wants to see their spouse have to go to someone else to talk to when they're right there. And sometimes, some people may not like what's being said, but sometimes how you say it is a lot better than what you say. Because sometimes people say the meanest things in the nicest way and nobody would never take offense to it. But you can also say the nicest thing in the meanest way and someone would take offense to it. Why? Because of how you said it, not what you said. So if you're in a relationship and you're talking to one another, you kind of want to keep it at a certain tone. Keep it at a 4, 3, anything below a 5. Because sometimes a 6 can stir something up. One person may think you're trying to yell over them. You're trying to be their parent because you're yelling so high over them. Instead of talking to them, you're talking at them. And it can cause the other person to want to go to a 7 because you're at a 6. If someone goes to an 8 to a 9, and then now both parties are shouting, and no one's bothered to hear anybody now at all. Many relationships and many marriages last a very long time. And outside of love and trusting each other, you know what they tell you all the time? They communicate. They talk to one another. They talk, they work past the goal to get past the situation, and they move on loving each other. 82 years married, 70 years married, 50 years married. They tell you one thing all the time: we were nice to each other. We communicated with each other. That's the one key a lot of people don't have, and wonder why more than half of the relationships fail. It's because there was no communication at all. Why did you do this? Well, you didn't listen to me when I told you this. Why you didn't do this to me? You didn't listen. You didn't listen. And it goes back and forth until someone admits, okay, well, I didn't listen to you. What's the problem now? But then by then, the problem had probably already been solved. But the person probably doesn't even care as much no more because you already showed them that you wouldn't listen to them. So to keep these happy relationships going and to keep things from going under, men, we have to pay a little bit more attention to detail when the woman's talking. And ladies, if you have a problem, you can articulate it then and there. Don't wait, hold it in, or expect someone to read your mind. Because if we all were mind readers, it'll be a lot of problems in this world. If we all can read what's on someone's mind. So we have to communicate with each other one way or another, but that's the only way to make the dream work is with teamwork. It's your host, Wayne's World, and that was episode 16, Communications. If you want, you can give me an email at galoretalk@gmail.com. You can DM me on Instagram at talk_galore. We're on Twitter at 20code30. We're also on YouTube at Talk Galore Podcast /radio. You can give us a subscription and follow there as well. It'll be very appreciated. And we're also on Facebook at Talk Galore page, or you can message Items Galore as well. This is is your host. I hope you enjoy these thoughts. We'll be back for episode 17 really soon because I got some more to talk about.